You're listening to Navid Moosa of the Mindset Movement.
Good day, good people. My name is Navid Moosa. I'm your host today and always for the Mindset Movement. Each and every week, I try to bring you guys value in whatever fashion I can. And lately, it's been of interviews, meeting people, coming across people in my inner circle or just on my day to day, and trying to hear their stories and what they're doing. And this week is no different. But as always, I want to take a brief moment to thank you those who are brand new listeners for the first time. We appreciate you stopping here. There's a lot of information out there, misinformation and information, and you choose to give us a shot. We appreciate that. Those who have been loyal listeners, thank you. We appreciate your loyalty just as much as the newbies. So, if you're brand new, we get into it right away. We don't do any kind of fluff pieces. We just go right into it. Now, this week is a little bit of a different guest because he's actually a friend of the family, a friend of mine, knows my kids and everything like that. Steve Romano over here. Welcome,
Thank you.
Steve. Thanks for your time.
Of course.
Um, I would say Steve cuts my hair, but it's more than that, right? So,
Now I shave it.
uh, shaves my head and stuff like that. So, and he does my kids' hair and stuff like that. But it was really interesting. So, I met Steve about I don't know, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, something like
God, it
that.
needs to be longer than that, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to think because Isaiah is going to be
Hair
8 this year.
7.5
So,
years.
yeah, so there you go. All right, so
It's
5 years
been
plus. We'll
yeah,
say 5 years plus. Anyway, so
solid five.
yeah, exactly. I was looking for a place to get my hair cut, and then someone recommended these guys, so I went in, and it was really cool because I walked in. I didn't. They didn't say, "Here, here's the first person available." I told them I was brand new, and here's the kind of haircut I get. And it was like a mini interview process. Whoever at the front desk, and she was like, "You know what? I'm going to put you with Steve. That's the person." I'm like, "Okay, I don't know who Steve is." So, and that was it. We kind of cool little conversation going. Barbershop. So it was cut your hair, you get conversation going, and Steve started picking my brain about real estate. And so, and he was telling how clients here, hey, a client who's an attorney, clients who's a CPA, and all that kind of stuff. Actually, my accountant was a referral from him. He's
Yeah.
actually my CPA now. Which, by the way, I can't thank you enough for that thing because that dude
Hey,
Clipper,
I'm just lucky I met him through cutting his hair. So
yeah, Clipper's absolutely
yeah.
amazing. But
Oh yeah, he's great.
yeah, he is. But
Well, he's just a good dude in general, and then the fact that he does accounting is awesome too. It's a plus.
yeah. So actually, I'm glad you said that because I think that's a real good intro to one of the topics I kind of want you to discuss is like birds of a feather flock together, right? So we are all good people, kind of surround good people. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it was, I met you, and Ed and I now get along, and then there's Clipper, and then your partner Josh,
Yeah.
um, and so just it's really cool how you get to just meet these pocket of people, all from different walks of life, different background in education, economics, race, everything. But the common theme is just good people.
Yeah.
It's just really good people, everyday people who just want to help somebody out. And the reason why I wanted you on to interview you slash talk to you and get the people to hear, number one, to hear your story, right? And number two is for encouragement, because you bust your ass, you work hard, you don't you travel and commute, you're a father,
Yeah.
and you got spoiler alert, he took one of my goals and has a damn deli shop. He beat me to it. um I'm gonna always hold that above
Next
you.
dude, say that.
Until I get free sub from you, I'm gonna always hold that from you. um
You will, of
but
course you will. Of course.
so that's
That came out of nowhere,
no,
but
but that's
that's
the
what people want.
discussions that I want people to
Yeah.
have, is that if you really speak it into existence, if you just kind of want some stuff, it happens.
It
So
does. You're,
I,
you're
I'm
right.
gonna stop talking. I'm gonna let you talk and just kind of tell people what you do now, your background, and how have you expanded.
Yeah. So basically, I'm a barber by trade, and I've been doing that for God. My dad was a barber. He had a barber shop in South Philly, so we grew up around it. I have another brother who cuts hair too. Yeah, I like I said, I grew up around it, and I just been cutting hair. So I've been talking to people for pretty much my whole life. So I get to know a lot of people day in day out, and uh, yeah, I get to know their lives, and they know mine pretty much, like how me and you are, and we become friendly, and been doing that. Geez, I mean, I started cutting hair when I was 13.
Wow.
33. I'm 33, so 20 years.
It's a
Uh,
generational.
I finally got licensed in 2011 though. But I've been cutting hair since I was 13.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah, I mean, just been doing that, and then it's weird because it's you go to these like networking meetings, and then I never put two and two together until like just recently, where I'm talking to these people all day, and I'm like, you know what? If I just start telling people that I'm into real estate or that I'm doing something, 9 out of 10 people are gonna be like, hey, I know someone who owns a house, or I know someone who does this. I can help you out. And that's, like I said, we met Mike, I met you. I know real estate agents, I know lawyers. I found a bunch of people just by saying, hey, this is what I do on the side. And it's worked out. I mean, we have 20 doors. We have a sandwich shop.
So what,
So,
2 years, 3 years? This is your third year, right?
going on 4. It'll be
Okay.
4 in August. August will be 4 years. Yeah. But I mean,
Okay.
yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah. But
That's
it's
actually,
weird because I don't really think of myself. I'm like, all right, I still cut hair. I still do my thing. I still do everything I normally do. And I'm not an entrepreneur yet. I'm like, until I quit that 9 to 5 job is when I'm kind of like, all right, then I'll be an entrepreneur type thing in the back of my head. But like, it's always been there. It's always been like I've always thought about real estate. Like even when I was a kid, I remember watching like HGTV with my mom, and like they're building bathrooms. Like this is awesome. But I'm thinking like you need to have so much money to do these things, but you really
yeah.
don't. You know, I know firsthand. Like I'm like in the back of my head, I'm like, okay, you need to have all this money to flip a house or something. But if you know people and you put yourself out there, then you really don't. You can borrow, you can do things, and I mean, I've done it. Me and you, we've connected
Yeah.
plenty of times. We're about to connect again
Yeah.
with a deal. So
Exactly. Exactly.
it's just putting yourself out there and letting people know that you're serious, and you come from a good background and you do good things. So
So talk about that a little bit. Like money's always a sensitive subject, right? No matter
yeah,
if it's friends, family, anything. When it's money, it's like, okay, how do you do it? I know I always tell people, you never ask for money, but what you do is you ask for an opportunity to invest. That's how I kind of phrase it. So
oh yeah.
so how did you feel comfortable approaching the people you approached to for money? Like what gave you the nudge to say, okay, this is a person I can ask?
It's what, it's still not comfortable ever. It
Okay.
never is. When I texted you the other night,
Yeah, yeah,
it's in the back of your head. I'm like, man, how am I gonna like approach this? How am I gonna say like And it's like it's not an easy thing because dude, it can ruin a friendship in seconds.
Unfortunately.
So it's just you just have to know that you're confident and you just got to know your stuff. Like you just got to know. Be like, hey, look, we're doing this type of deal. This is the address. This is what we're gonna do. I'll send you a contract or whatever it is, whatever it may be. Just letting them know that it's a good deal. Uh, Maybe you put like this is what our profits are going to be or your profits are going to be, stuff like that. It's all just putting the deal together basically. Just letting them know you're serious.
So,
And
so the first time you put the deal together, when you presented it, was it perfect in its format, or did it get kickback saying, "Hey, we need some more information from you"?
yeah, God, I mean, the first time I ever had to ask for a loan or something like that, yeah, you definitely have to put your shit out there. Sorry to curse, but
That's all right. We do it here all day.
um, there's a little bit of kickback. It's funny because it's like your first deal. No one believes in you. No one's gonna be like, oh yeah, you got this. No, everyone's like, we'll see. Maybe the next one or the third one, we'll invest then. And then it's like you do 2, 3, and then that person who wanted, you originally asked want to jump on. It's like, no, I already got my people. Because the people who believed in me in the first one are your people.
It's that loyalty.
What's that?
It's that loyalty.
Yeah, it is, and it's like, all right, yeah, I'll still take your money, but no, but seriously, it's like, yeah, the people who believe in you in the first place, and you were one of them. Actually, it's funny because you were one of them. They're the people that you're riding with, and it's serious.
Yeah, so because I have my coaching program now, and
Yeah, which
one of the
congratulations on that, dude. That's
thank
awesome.
thank you, appreciate it. But one of the common questions I get is the money thing. How do
Yeah,
you ask for money? And it's like, well, I have a job and I don't have time to do all this. I'm like, well, if you're doubting yourself already from the door, no one's going to give it to you, right?
yeah,
That's right off the back. So you need to have, and the reason why I wanted to bring that up is, like we had spoken right before your first deal, and all the questions you had asked to me, that's what gave me the confidence. Say, damn, he's asking a lot of good questions, right? And I want to encourage those who are listening to this, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on your favorite podcast um, software, that you have to ask the questions.
yeah,
It's if you don't ask questions, that's when you look dumb.
yes.
A lot of people think, well, if I ask questions, I'm going to look like I don't know what I'm talking about. No, when you ask questions, it means you've done research and you just potentially want clarity on it, or you're like, well, here's my understanding of it. I just want to make sure it's on the same page as you are, kind of ordeal, right? But you said yourself to this day, now you're 4 years in it, 4 years, 20 doors, both residential and commercial. Um, but you're still a little bit scared to ask for funding, but you still do it. Why? What if you're that scared, why do you still do it?
It's funny you say, because it's like, I don't know, it's just one of those things, like when you're backed into a corner type of thing, you just there's no way out, and you just be like, all right, I just need to find out. Trust me, I've gotten plenty of no's in my life. I've always heard no, and I feel like every time I listen to a podcast and this and that, and it's like you just hear, oh, you're gonna get 20 no's before you finally get a yes.
That's right.
But it's true. It is. It's really true. I mean, it's you're gonna have to put yourself out there. It's putting yourself out there, and really just being able to, like I said, like when you're backed up in a corner, like what are you gonna do? You're gonna have to ask and try to get out of this, or you're just gonna fall and fail. And yeah, I mean, it's like I don't want to fail, and I mean, saying getting said no to isn't as harsh as people think.
Yeah,
You in the back of your mind, you're like, dude, like I said earlier, I was like, I had to send you a text message the other day about the deal. I'm like, oh, he might say no, but what if he says yes?
yeah.
Like,
See that, and
really,
that's that second part. What
yes,
if instead of what if no, what if yes? And
yeah,
but it's that no that stifles us, right? It's that no that stifles everybody. And I just again, if you're watching this, listening, just listen to what he's saying. This is a man who, again, not really much of a real estate background, just watch you bigger pockets you belong
yeah.
to, and you watch a whole bunch of TV shows, ask a lot of questions, and like you said, you got plenty of no's and stuff like that. But it's that initial no. And I talked to some of our students, and I said that, okay, so someone says no. Are you gonna die? Are you gonna bleed? Are you gonna need stitches? No, your feelings are gonna get hurt, but
Of course.
get over it. Like that, it's just your feel. Is that the
But it
first
builds
time
you
your
up.
feelings are?
It
Yeah,
exactly
exactly.
builds you
So
up.
speak on that.
Yeah.
Please speak on that build up. I want you to please tell people on those stages of build up.
I mean, I'm still getting built up because I'm still getting said no to, even though I have 20 doors and this and that. It's still snow, and it's just the nature of the game. I'll tell you a story right now. One of my best friends, my buddy Kev, shout out to Kev. He's a great real estate guy. Flips houses, has a bunch of rental houses. Um, I took him out. I said, "Hey, look, I don't want to." And mind you, this is a kid I've known since 8th grade, so he's one of my best friends. Instead of saying, "Hey, I want you to just come over, let's drink some beers and we'll talk about real estate," like I want to know what your background is. When I first was getting started, I said, "Yo, let me take you out to dinner. I'll treat you to dinner. I just want to pick your brain. Um, I just want to know because I haven't done it and he's doing it." Um, yeah, I was just like, "Yeah, I'll pick your brain. Just let me pay for it. Like I'll pay for dinner. Everything's on me." Instead of saying, "Hey, bro, come over and instead have a couple of beers and let's
Yeah.
chat." I treated him, instead of treating him like a friend, I treated him like I'm like a person who I didn't really know per se, and kind of wanted to get to know in that different level. And yeah, it worked out because he told me kind of what his story was, and I got to know the background of what he's doing, and it worked out. And yeah, I mean,
But that's huge, right? Because you respected his craft. You
Yeah.
respected his time. You respected what he's about now. You didn't look at him as your eighth grade friend. You
Hmm.
looked at him as Kevin, the realtor professional slash landlord slash investor, and you
Exactly.
treated him as such. And I think, and that there's a lot of good nuggets here, guys. I really hope you're paying attention to what he's saying. Is that
I hope so.
no, there is, dude, and that's something that's never been touched on the show. Period. Is the fact that when we see someone who we've known from such a long time ago in our childhood, or they grew up in our neighborhood, or they know our families, and now we see them in professional world, we want their help, but we don't want to pay for it. Why? Because we're thinking, well, you're my boy. Why should I pay you for that? No, that's not your boy. At that time, that is not your friend. That is a potential business partner or consultant and advisor. And it's like we walk into a big name store and buy a leather coat and spend $1,000 on it and don't never ask for a discount. Just say, oh, it's this name brand, it's $1,000, I'm buying it. But yet we go into another store that our friend owns and it's the same quality leather and they're asking 750 for it. You're like, oh, give me a hookup.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why do you want the hookup already? Right? And that happens
You're
so
there to
much.
support your friend's business. Yes.
Yeah, but we don't look at it that way. A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
A lot of this, it's like, well,
Yeah.
we're boys. We should be. No, it's listen. The fact that we are boys just means there's a comfort level that you can approach me. That doesn't mean my services are discounted.
Right.
It doesn't. I have bills to pay, just like you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. I never go into anything or any friendship without ever expecting a deal. I like putting people together. Like I said, like put you and
Oh, you
Mike
did. You
together.
yeah,
I
exactly.
like.
Yep.
I love that. That is actually one of my. That's even better than real estate stuff. I love putting people together, dude. Like hooking people up with this and that, and it's like I love that. I would never go into something being like, oh yeah, I need a 10% discount on this because you're my buddy. No, I would never. I would yeah, never ever ever.
Yeah. No. So this
Yeah,
here's
I didn't, sorry to cut you off real
no, go
quick,
ahead.
but speaking back on my buddy Kev, when I took him out, I even said, and kind of like to touch on what we asked me about being built up and being said no to, he actually said no to me. I offered him money. I offered him X amount of dollars and said, hey, I'll give you this much money on your next flip. I have this saved up. Let's put it to work. And he said, no, you take that and start your own thing. You do your own thing. Because talking to him and explaining like my story and like, what I wanted to do, he saw that I wanted to do bigger things. And he said, why waste your money on me in a way? Not going to say it like that, but
Yeah, yeah.
why waste your money putting it when you could put it to better use on yourself, pretty much. So in a way, like I mean, like
That's a
you,
good person. That's a real. That's a
oh,
real
yeah.
good person.
And I talked to him like I talked to you. You're a great mentor. He's a mentor to me. Just because there's people that are doing these things for X amount of years and stuff, but I said I've been only been doing it for 4 years, and although I have a lot of doors, I'm still learning. I still have a lot to learn. There's definitely no sense of urgency of trying to be the best. I don't want to be the best. I just want to. I want to learn. It's pretty much all it is. It's a
Yeah.
learning thing.
Yeah. I don't think. I mean, again, 20 years, 15 years in the business, 20 years overall, but I'm still learning. You know, I learned something
Yeah.
today. It literally you never stop learning, and I think that's another key point of being an entrepreneur, being a small business, or just a business owner in general, small, medium, large, is that once you think you know it all, you're done. Right?
Yeah.
Like I know this. I don't need to listen to this. And I used to
Yeah.
be that guy who I would networks. I'm like, I know what this guy's talking about. I don't need to know this.
Yeah.
And then that became a habit where I'm like, I didn't go anywhere because I thought I knew everything. But then I sit here like, how the hell did they get there? And I'm still here, and they've been in business less time than I have,
Mhm.
because they admitted to themselves they don't know everything, and that there's always room for opportunity and growth. There's always room for that, stuff like that. I think that's what kind of made me comfortable doing business with you, was because you never acted like you knew it all. You asked the same question several times in different manners, so that told me that you were looking at different verticals, like different exit strategies, essentially, right? So that to me was like, okay, this is a guy who's not just talking about this while he's cut my hair on his off hours. You're actually putting it to practice. You're putting your research in. And next time I see you a month later, 3 weeks later, to get my haircut again, it's some additional question. And in between, we text each other, right? Hey,
Oh, yeah.
you got this and stuff like that. So that's and I think it's key. For someone who works. Okay, so let's talk about that timing. You work full time. You live in one location and you commute like 30, 40 minutes to one shop. So quick background, those are listening. Steve works at Razor Bar there's one in Collegeville, Pennsylvania, Montgomery County, and there's one in Wayne County, Wayne, Pennsylvania rather. And he lives closer to the one and not to the, it was Wayne or Devon. Like it's Wayne.
Wait, but
Yeah,
I think it's technically Delaware County.
or Delaware County. Okay.
It's
So,
cut off between Montgomery County and Delaware County, but I
all right.
think
So
I mean Delaware.
Steve lives in one or lives near one and lives further from the other. And he is a father. So, and you work 5 days a week, right?
Yeah.
Basic sense, you work 5 days a week, 40 hours, 35, 40 hours a week. You have a beautiful young child. You have all this time. How do you juggle it? How do you tell somebody who's like, well, I have a 9 to 5. I can't, my job won't let me do this. It's not flexible. I mean, you cut hair for crying out loud. Both your hands are occupied every given time. So you're not on the phone. So people can say, well, he's talking while he's on the job. No, he's not.
Wow.
No, you're not. So how tell people, how do you do it?
I get a brief minute in between clients where I can do the phone. I'll call up and do deals on the phone in between clients. And I actually do, but I'm kind of making a joke because you really, I mean, we are busy. We're a very busy salon, barbershop. We cater to a lot of people and I'm there, it's a long day. And like I said, I work 40 hours a week, but it's all cutting and I'm on my feet all day standing. So I've literally had to make deals in between haircuts. I actually think after I got done cutting your hair and your kid's hair, that it's really calling a lawyer to set up a deal real quick. And like I've done it. It's tough. It really is. But you gotta find the way, you gotta find some will to manage it. It doesn't it's not easy. It's really not. I mean, still there's days where I'm like, oh my God, this is like, do I really want this? Like, and it's you really do have to think to yourself, like, you really need to want this. Because if you're gonna work full time, because I don't honestly I can't I'm not gonna quit my day job unless I have to because I'm doubling. I wasn't going to say triple, but I would love to triple it, but double my income with real estate. And it will get there one day, but until then, I have to be on my grind. I have to do what I'm doing. And like I said, I have a daughter, and that's pretty much my will and my why because she's my everything. Not to get choked up, but
No, that's listen, I was gonna ask you like which because a lot of people have a why or they think they have a why. So they do something. And then they get roadblocks. They get told no, or something happens, or whatever, and then they regress. Like this is not going to work. This isn't for me, and that's it. And at that point, I tell them, then your why isn't strong enough.
no.
Because if your why is really that strong, no matter what comes in your way, you're gonna go through it, go around it,
Oh,
go
yeah, you'll
above it.
burst through doors and
Exactly. Because, so
yeah,
for you, it's your daughter, right? It's your
yeah,
daughter. You're like, hey, that's my baby girl. Here's what I got to get for her. So no matter what obstacle, no matter how many no's, you're 20, 22, 25 no's, you're going to keep asking because you know that one yes is enough to put a smile and secure her future
100%.
way more than to those 20, 25 no's you got in ahead of time.
That
So you
one
got a
yes is
very
the
strong
key
why.
to opening every door. It's that key to opening the door where, all right, I got one yes, I'm going to go to it. Then it'll be another yes, and then So yeah, I mean, like I said, she's the reason why I push, and when I'm backed into a corner, that's my why. Where I'm going to be like, all right, I have to do this because I want a secure future for her. I don't, being a barber, we don't get a 401k. We don't get these things that, your typical 9 to 5 jobs get. So we pay, we don't get health insurance, things like that. But which, not to bust on, barbershops and things like that in general, it's fine. It just gave me another reason why I need to push harder to do these things and why I wanted more. Um, because I do want more. I feel in the back of my head, I'm like, I could be doing better things. I should be doing better things, and I deserve it. because I do work hard. And
There you go.
yeah,
There you go. That's thank you for saying that because a lot of people think once you start taking credit for yourself or for who you are or what you've become, you're being selfish.
right.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that. I'm like, it's and then and still in the back of my head, I was like, I do feel selfish for saying things like that, but I bust my ass, man. I work around the clock, dude. I'm a landlord in a way. I go to the bank and I get loans out and things like that for these houses, and I pay the mortgage, I pay the insurance, I do all this stuff between cutting hair and doing this other stuff. I shouldn't be selfish. I should, I'm doing a lot to do these things, and I deserve it, and I need to stop thinking that I don't, because sometimes I'm like, do I really, you know, like I said before, I'm like, there's times where it's tough where you're like, oh man, you're just second guessing everything. You're like, do I deserve this? Do I really want to be doing this? This is a lot of work. But at the end of the day, when I lay my head down, I'm like, you know what? It was a rough day and all, but I'm still managing to do something. And it's kind of cool because it's like it's a business in a way. Like I have all these houses I'm managing. I'm bringing in, I'm finding houses for people. I'm talking to a lot of people, and it's kind of cool. So
So that's and I want to kind of circle back to what you had said earlier on was although you like real estate and cutting hair, the thing you love the most is connecting people. Having
yes,
being that connector between, and that's so that seems to be the common theme in a sense of where everyone who I've excuse me, everyone who I've interviewed on this show on this cast, although most of them do their what they love the most or what they love is in real estate or some fashion, what makes them their money isn't their passion. But what makes them money helps them achieve their passion. So being that not that I'm not saying you have it made, you can go, quit tomorrow, but you're comfortable, your bills are paid, you're a responsible individual because you have the multiple sources of streams of income that you've created and worked for. It's allowing you to do your passion, which is connect people. Because let's be honest, you really can't make a living just sitting there all day, just saying meet so and so, unless they're going to pay you for it,
yeah,
right? If
right,
you're like a professional networker, it's a whole different story, right? A whole different
yeah,
subject. Excuse me, but like for me, like my passion is drag racing. I love cars. Like I love cars and I love cooking, right? But I'm not gonna make a living off of it at all by such imagination. But you, Ed, Clipper, everyone I've talked to, although we love what we do on a day in and day out basis, it's not our passion. It helps provide so we can enjoy our passions,
yeah,
right? So I want people to think about that because a lot of people say, "Oh, just do what you love and everything will be fine." It's not that easy because bills got to be paid.
yeah,
Bills got to get paid no matter what. So how do you? And I did a podcast called for the W-2ers, and I said I used to kind of knock on the W-2s, but at the same time, and Ed will tell you this, it was we need to, or whoever has a W-2 job, such as yourself, you need to leverage that to the best of your advantage.
yes,
Use the time that you have to go on. I mean, growing up, the funny thing is, I always thought about cutting hair because I thought it was the coolest thing. You got your own chair, you charge what you want, and it was like rent chair, right? That was it. So you were an independent contractor. In my mind, I'm like, all right, you pay chair rent, and you get so many heads in there. You charge so much, you can make a lot of money. But I didn't really pursue it because I didn't really enjoy all that kind of stuff. So I can sympathize with you when you say not to bust on barbershops about there's no 401k or insurance and stuff like that. Being a real estate agent, being a truck driver, that we don't those guys don't have those things.
yeah,
There is no 401k unless you create your 401k. There
right,
is no insurance unless you pay for an insurance. There's no retirement plan unless you create your retirement plan. A lot of the times, real estate and stocks is our retirement plan. You know,
yeah,
most
yeah,
independent contractors, that's the retirement plan, and most people who work for themselves rely on real estate as a retirement plan, which is, I mean, you save up. You're a smart person, obviously, and you're financially savvy for the most part. So you've done some good
kind of
things. Well, I mean, listen. So we could all pick each other, I'm sure, some way or another. But okay, so you've talked about a whole bunch of good stuff. You talked a little bit about the bad, about the nose. Um, Now you have a partner. You have two partners in what you do now in your business, I believe, or is
Hmm.
it just the one? Anyway, so you have a partner.
We have actually there's four of us now.
Oh, okay. I see you have four
Yeah, we
partners.
added
There you go.
someone. Yep. Hmm.
I
Then
see
we
you
both,
have.
yeah.
Okay, so you have four partners.
Yeah.
But if correct me if I'm wrong, I remember us talking a while ago. You actually approached somebody else, I think a family member, or somebody, and you guys are trying to do something as a partnership, but it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
Um,
It was like it's one of those like equivalents to kicking tires,
okay,
and yeah, it was just like we tried. Um,
and that was your first attempt to
but yeah,
go
it
into a
was.
partnership, right? Now,
Yeah.
it didn't work out for you know. I got to go into it one reason or another, but I guess the reason why I brought that up was you didn't let that stop you. You
No.
didn't go into a partnership like I didn't work. You know what? If it doesn't work with this guy, it ain't going to work with anybody else. You
Actually,
still said, okay,
it kind of motivated me.
oh, okay,
It motivated me to push harder. Because then I knew when I realized, I said, you know what, I can do this. Because at the time I was like, I was using that other person as almost like a crutch in a way.
oh, okay,
Um, Being like, okay, if we get denied, if I got said no to, I can use that person as a crutch to, bounce back in a way. Then when it didn't work out, I kind of used it as motivation to kick myself in the ass per se, and pushed me to when I met, I talked to Josh and said, hey, like I said, I like connecting people, but the funniest thing is I connected myself with a bunch of other people that I knew who could do other jobs. So in a way, it's a good thing to know that because I know a person who does construction, I know a person who does engineering and so forth, but or can run a business. It's all about your team, and that's the biggest thing. It's like it's who's your lender, who's your accountant, who's your construction person. Like I know these people because I got to know other people and I connected everyone together. And now I'm like, okay, now I need to connect myself to these people
yeah,
because they know what they're doing. I might not know what I'm doing sometimes, but I do some things well, but these people do these things better. So I connected myself with these other people and it's been working out. So it was more like, yeah, it sucked in the beginning because, it was kind of a kick, but like I said, it just motivated me to push harder and put myself out there more because of that reason. And yeah.
cool, cool. So what? So we're gonna wrap this up here. What would you say if you had to leave with some wise words of wisdom from you to those who are, because again the premise of the podcast initially was to make real estate agents into more more investor driven, and then it kind of organically became this, from people talking to you and emails and phone calls and stuff like that saying, hey, can you talk about this subject. The podcast is now moved to a mindset of the entrepreneur, whether you're a part-time entrepreneur or a full-time entrepreneur, doesn't make a difference. um, what would you say to somebody who's there who is saying, I can't do this because I have a full time job. I can't do this because I have kids? What do you tell them?
I mean, I can't speak for everybody. That's a tough question. I mean, one, it's just being persistent. You got to put yourself out there and just continue. Just push yourself. You just need that drive. Uh, Geez, I mean, yeah, it's just being constant. There's no, I mean, there's so many highs and lows of this type of industry. Just being an entrepreneur itself. There's going to be some days where you're just like I said before, like, just why am I doing this? But then there's other days where you're like, I'm so glad I did it.
Yeah,
Like I'm so happy I did it. Like I have this is secure in the future and everything like that. But yeah, just pretty much just being persistent, just constantly just pushing yourself. That's all.
yeah.
I mean,
It's just you hit it on the head with them. Everyone says the same thing. It's being consistent, and it's not giving up, not quitting. And I think to go back to your comment of um, there's certain days where it just all you're like, man, I'm glad I did it. And I think as a general society, all of us, myself included, is we always looking at quantity of things instead of quality of things. So
Mhm.
by that I mean we look at the 20 no's and discount that one yes. But that one yes, just that one yes,
Yeah,
just trumps the 2040 no's that you're going to be getting. That
that's true.
feeling of that one, right? So it's the quality of that one yes versus the quality or lack of quality in those 20 no's. And that quality of that one yes just morphs every other no you've gotten.
Oh yeah,
And we don't focus on that enough, in my opinion. We just focus on, man, I got another no, another no, another no. We get that one yes. Oh, God, one person said yes. But look how good you feel. And once you get that one yes, it's a high, right? Like you get that one yes, you're like, oh,
that's
I
me.
can do anything. You're gonna go to the gym, you're gonna compete, you're gonna go swimming, you're gonna go eat 25 wings, you're just gonna go do anything possible because you feel you just conquered the whole world, right?
You're Superman.
Exactly.
You're Superman.
Exactly. You're in this high because that one. What happens with that one no? You're like, oh, let me do it again. Oh, let me do it again. So it's the quality. It's the
Yeah,
qual. We need to look at the quality of the wins that we get and enjoy them, embrace them, enjoy the moment. Don't live in that, but enjoy that moment and build off of that. Like you said, you build off of it. It's exactly what you did, and you consistently do it.
yeah.
Um, so it may look like I don't want to hold you up, but thanks for your time. I, I know it was hard. We had to reschedule this and stuff like that to
Yeah.
get it in.
Sorry.
No, no, no. I mean, listen, you're working. You're
Yeah.
constantly working. So, quick story before I sign off here. We were supposed to do a call, and then the day of, he goes, "Bro, I got to cancel on you. I got a property here, new property management, so I got to do this and whatnot." So I'm like, "Hey, I get it," and that happens, right? So, um, he had a situation. He adapted to it. He made the necessary arrangements, and he worked with it. He didn't go into the corner and cry and bawl and put his thumb in his mouth, right? He
I
actually dealt
actually
with
did
it.
though. No. I did do that though.
Oh my God, that's no, but that's the life.
Yeah.
That's the life. It's
Yeah.
never perfect, and I don't want people to strive for perfection. I do want you to strive for pursuit, the pursuit of what you want to be. And we just gotta just go for it. Just go for that. You know what I mean? And then to get there. So anyways, Steve Romano here from the Razor Bar Lounge, again in Collegeville, PA, and one in Wayne, PA. Is Steve, I don't know if you want to give your hours of when you're working, so if anyone wants to come through or something, or the website.
Well, yeah, I'm Tuesday through Saturday. What's it? Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm 11 to 8. Thursday, Friday, I'm 10 to 4 in Wayne, and I do every other Saturday now.
Okay,
Um,
so there you go.
so yeah, I do
So
get good haircuts on top of real estate too.
yeah,
So
he does. I mean, you can't tell, but
I
when
do
it's
shave. I do
he
shaves.
changed me. It's this nice lineup and stuff like that. The next clean, so look, I got a little Kojak going on. It looks good. It looks good on me. Anyways, thanks, Steve. I really appreciate you, brother. I didn't give it time. I'm sure I'll be seeing you soon. We got a discussion of the deal we're
Would love
working
to do
on.
this again.
I said, yeah,
And
no,
congratulations on this, dude. This is awesome.
yeah, I appreciate it, man. So as each and every week we sign off saying the same thing. Look, just do right by the client. If you do right by the client, everything else will fall into place. I promise you that. And that's any industry you're in. Just do right by the client, and everything else falls into place. And that's something I can definitely guarantee you, folks. So again, signing off. Steve Romano, Navi Musa here for the Mindset Movement. Thanks. Have a great week. Be good to each other. Be safe out there, and do what you got to go do legally. See ya.